As the weeks pass, the tension only thickens. Royal reporters begin to note the subtle shifts in protocol, the rearranged seating at banquets, the way the public's cheers linger just a bit longer for Catherine than for any other royal. Behind palace walls, the air is charged with expectation and a quiet anxiety that borders on dread. Old traditions are like ancient stone, beautiful, weighty, and resistant to change. Yet change is coming, as inexorable as the tides on the Thames. To many, Catherine's ascent feels like destiny fulfilled. Her story is the stuff of modern legend, a middle-class girl who captured the heart of a prince, navigated a decade-long courtship under merciless media glare, and emerged not just unscathed, but stronger, more regal than many of royal blood. She weathered every storm, tabloid invasions, family scandals, even health crises that would have broken lesser spirits. Each challenge seemed only to draw the nation closer to her, fueling the belief that she is not just the future, but the face of a new monarchy. The question of her title, Queen Consort or Queen Regent, secondary figure or true partner in power, takes on the weight of national debate. Television panels spark to life with heated arguments. Should tradition hold, or must the monarchy adapt to survive? Social media teams with hashtags and viral posts, #QueenKate trends for days, sometimes eclipsing even the official palace accounts. Older women write letters of support by the thousands, moved by memories of Diana and hopeful for Catherine. Young mothers hold her up as a symbol of strength, resilience, and grace under fire. Meanwhile, within the family, the lines are being drawn softly at first, but with growing boldness. Some of the older courtiers, those who once served the Queen Mother, fear the speed and energy Catherine brings. They remember all too well the chaos that came with change, abdications, divorces, tabloid wars. They caution patience, warning that the monarchy's strength lies in its glacial pace, its ability to endure by outwaiting the storms. Yet William is not his father, nor his grandmother. He listens, but he also acts, sometimes with a determination that startles even those closest to him. For Camilla, every public event becomes a test of relevance. She has spent decades climbing out from the shadow of scandal, first as the other woman, then as a controversial consort, and finally, after years of patient public service, as a queen accepted, if not beloved, by the British public. But now she faces a new kind of challenge, a rival who is not an adversary, but a daughter-in-law who inspires adoration, whose youth and poise threaten to recast the image of royalty for a new generation. In the corridors of the palace, their encounters are polite, their smiles impeccable. But staff whisper of a growing frostiness, of awkward silences at family dinners, of moments when Catherine's ideas for modernizing charity work are met with thin-lipped resistance from Camilla's camp. Behind every joint appearance, there is a push and pull, Camilla seeking to reinforce the traditions that have finally embraced her, Catherine quietly advocating for change, for openness, for a monarchy that reflects the world as it is now, not as it was in 1953. Rumors swirl about Charles's true intentions. Is he preparing to update the letters patent, those ancient documents that define royal titles? Will he declare Catherine queen without the limiting consort, a move that would electrify some and scandalize others? Or will he, wary of stirring old ghosts, keep the rules as they are, trusting that the people's affection will confer upon Catherine the power and dignity that no title can truly encapsulate? The press, sensing a story that could define a generation, doubles down. Every outfit, every gesture, every offhand remark becomes fodder for headlines. Battle of the Queens, scream the tabloids, their front pages ablaze with side-by-side photos of Camilla and Catherine, smiles frozen in competition. Morning talk shows dissect body language. Was that a slight tilt of the head? Did Catherine's eyes linger a moment too long on the throne during the last state opening of Parliament? Was Camilla's laughter at the garden party a touch too loud, too pointed? In private, Catherine maintains her composure. She leans on William, whose loyalty is unwavering. Together, they have weathered storms more ferocious than public speculation, his father's illness, her own battle with cancer, and the constant weight of expectation that comes with being the face of the future. William, always the steady hand, reassures her, whatever happens, we face it together. The children, blissfully unaware of the adult intrigues, become anchors of normalcy. George, Charlotte, and Louis bring laughter to Kensington Palace. Their school runs, soccer matches, and family picnics are moments of pure joy, a shield against the relentless gaze of the world. For Catherine, these are the real treasures, the reminders that beneath the crowns and sashes, they are first and foremost a family. But the world will not be kept at bay for long. As the next round of public engagements approaches, state visits, charity galas, and the all-important Christmas broadcast, the question looms ever larger. Will this be the year the palace acknowledges what the public already knows? Will Catherine step forward not just as queen in spirit, but in title and power? For Camilla, the prospect is bittersweet. She knows that time is not on her side. The monarchy, like any living institution, must evolve or risk obsolescence. She has made her mark, healed old wounds, and brought stability after years of turmoil. Perhaps her greatest legacy will be to pass the torch with grace, to show that even those who fight longest for their place must one day yield to the future. And so, as autumn leaves fall across the palace gardens and the nation braces for another winter, the great game of succession continues. Behind every public smile, every carefully worded speech, every hand laid on a child's shoulder, the true drama plays out in silence, a story of women, of ambition, of tradition and change, of love and rivalry, of queens, both present and future. Winter approaches, and with it the chill of uncertainty. In every royal household, old hands prepare for the next ceremony, the next camera flash, the next wave of public speculation. But behind the brocade curtains, Catherine's reflection lingers in every corridor, her absence at some events speaking as loudly as her radiant presence at others. Her supporters note every detail, when she walks ahead of Camilla at a service, when she's pictured beside the king at a private dinner, when the press hails her as the monarchy's secret weapon in times of crisis. Camilla, meanwhile, finds herself walking an ever narrower path. Her closest allies whisper of late-night strategy sessions, quiet appeals to Charles for reassurance, for signs that her place is secure. She remembers a time when the world shunned her, when only the king's affection protected her from the public's wrath. Now she fears that affection alone may not be enough as the tide turns toward the new. And all the while, the people watch. Some are drawn to the old ways, comforted by Camilla's steady hand, her mature understanding of royal duty. Others hunger for change, for the hope and modernity they see in Catherine's every gesture. Social media becomes a battlefield, every smile, every snub, every word parsed and reposted, argued over and immortalized in hashtags. The monarchy's fate, once decided in smoke-filled chambers, now plays out in the glare of 1,000 screens. For Catherine, the burden is heavy, but she carries it with the composure of someone who knows the stakes are bigger than titles. She is more than a future queen consort, she is the symbol of a generation's longing for a monarchy that feels both ancient and new, steadfast yet flexible, rooted in history yet open to the world as it is. There are moments of doubt, quiet tears shed in private, sharp pangs of anxiety before the next public engagement. Yet Catherine's resolve never wavers. She draws strength from her children, from William's quiet loyalty, from the thousands of letters sent by women who see in her the daughter, the sister, the leader they themselves might have been. She knows the world is watching, judging, hoping. Charles, for his part, is torn. His love for Camilla is real, unwavering, but he cannot ignore the writing on the wall. He sees the crowds surge forward for Catherine. Here's the chance of Queen Kate in places where, years ago, only the Queen's name was spoken. He feels the weight of history on his shoulders, the need to ensure the crown does not just survive, but thrives. He wonders if the ultimate act of love for both women might be to let one lead and let the other rest. In one of the palace's more private rooms, a fire burns low as the king contemplates his legacy. Portraits of queens past stare down from the walls, Elizabeth, Victoria, even, and each a testament to the monarchy's power to change, to endure, to outlast even the fiercest storms. He wonders, what will they say of this moment, of these women, of the choices he must make? Will he be remembered as the king who brought peace to a divided family, or as the last monarch of a fading age? The answer remains unwritten, poised on the edge of revelation. For the nation, and for the women at the heart of the drama, the waiting is agony. Yet, even now, the groundwork for a new era is being laid, quietly, inexorably, behind the scenes. Rumors swirl of secret drafts, new protocols, even a possible coronation that would see Catherine crowned not just as consort, but as Queen Regent equal in stature, partner in rule. Camilla, some say, has been offered a role as the wise dowager, a keeper of tradition and family law. The details are as shadowy as they are explosive, but one truth stands clear: the monarchy is on the brink of its most significant transformation in a century. As the first snow falls across Windsor and London's lights glitter on the Thames, the world holds its breath. Will Charles make the bold move? Will Camilla step aside with dignity, or will she fight to the end? Will Catherine finally claim the role the nation has already bestowed upon her in their hearts? One thing is certain: the royal family will never be the same. The crown, polished by centuries of conflict and change, waits for its next keeper. And somewhere, in the hush before dawn, Catherine stands ready, gracious, resolute, a queen in every way that matters.